Hello students. Before we talk about what you need to do this week, I want to tell you that I actually won't be in Utah in this coming week as well as the following week. I'll be in China. I'll be bringing a group of principal interns. They will be interning in Guangzhou, China for a month, and I'll be with them for the beginning few days. And then after that, I will actually go to a province called Qinghai. The Utah and Qinghai has a long partnership, and in the past that partnership has always been focusing on technology on energy, but now they're expanding into education, and they have invited me to go there and help them with that. And right after Qinghai, I will actually fly directly to Washington DC to report to the State Department about our the collaboration, the Utah-Qinghai collaboration. And so it's a little different than what we typically do in the classrooms, but it's meaningful. And I hope some of you will be interested. I know some of you are already interested and have contacted me, and so I'm grateful for that. And so if you are interested in going to China or getting involved in some of these international projects, let me know. So this is week 6, and week 6 is the week where you will actually be creating the main assignment that is for your module, okay, for your students to do. And what we hope is that you will be able to create a very interactive and also a real project that is competency based, that competency or mastery based, that helps students to learn and master certain things that you want them to learn. Okay, now if you take a look at this, the outline of the course, okay, don't worry about this, the bottom two that I just hide. You don't need to do those. Okay, now we have an introduction, and after 6.0a, you should go ahead and take this quiz. This quiz, I'll tell you, it is a little different than some of the quizzes that you have taken. This one is really open-ended. It really asks you, in your own words, what you have learned from the materials that you have reviewed in the previous parts. And then after that, it will give you an opportunity to evaluate some of the cases using the PICRAD model that you have learned before. And the main thing that you'll be creating is this part, okay? 6.0b, we explain to you, what you need to do. 6.2 is the 50 points assignments. That's the main thing, where you are creating the online content-based assignments. You also need to engage in discussion, and you also need to provide a self-report. Okay, so let's come in and take a look at what you need to do in great details. In the beginning of this parts, we'll talk about the standards that relates to what you need to do, and then these two will provide you with additional information on what we mean by the content-based assignments. Okay, and so be sure to go into that. And when you go to 6.0a, we have some videos. These are all, I feel very proud of the videos that we have provided. They're very practical and very meaningful, the videos from people who are actually doing what we are wanting you to do. And so take a quick look at that. And then after that, we'll introduce several issues that relates to doing a blended learning classroom, and some of the things that people do. Some of these are very simple. When you watch it, you feel like it makes sense. Yeah, we should do this. However, if you, as a teacher going into the classroom, if you don't know it, you don't know it. And sometimes, for example, this one is called a one-way street, and so they have the students all in one clockwise or anti-clockwise direction, and so nobody is running into to anybody. And so something like this, when you learn it, you'll be able to say, okay, this makes sense, I'm going to do this. But sometimes if you have not been aware of this, you may just did not think about doing it in your classroom, and you may make the mistake. And so some of these will help you. And we also have a section that talk about hardware management. These are not technical. These are just classroom teacher experience. That tells you what they have done. Using two hands, and how they use the book to represent the computer, and so how they teach the students to properly handle the computers, software management, and then how they use the students to help other students. And so these are all great tips, and it was things that you'll be able to learn and use in your own classroom. And then you should actually go ahead and do this quiz before you go into the actual content creation, okay? Because the quiz relates more to the initial presentation to you than the actual the creation, okay? Now I won't talk about the discussion. You know what to expect, and I'll jump ahead to these main assignments that you're going to do. Now these are the technical requirements that you need to have for your for the assignments that you're creating for your students. So when you're done, or actually before you do it, you should come in and look at each point and make sure what you're creating fulfill all the requirements. And then after that, like what Karen said last time, you should always come in to look at the rubrics, and so that you can know how we are grading your assignments. And you notice that majority of the points are actually given to the technical requirements that we have stated here, and 20% of it is still given to the creativity and quality of your work. But again, this is your things. This is something that we hope you'll be able to use for your own classroom, and so put some time and do a quality work and create something very meaningful. On both Monday and Wednesday, from 1 o'clock to from around 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, Karen will be in the lab, and so she will still be able to provide you with assistance. And I'll check my email as frequently as I can while I'm in China, and so if you have anything that you need to inquire of me, you can still send me the email. Okay, and I really look forward to seeing what you guys will come up in this section. This is really pretty exciting, and it will show us how much you have understood and how much creativity you have in creating something meaningful and productive for your students.